Hey doll, so today I am going to be doing another coffee, crime and chat video. So you might want to grab your coffee, grab your tea and let's do this coffee, crime and chat video. So today we're going to be covering a very popular case. A lot of you probably already know it. Most of you should know this was really big back in 2013 and it's just been 5, 6 years now, and it's just not been solved. So this isn't an unsolved case. We just don't have all the answers. So it is the Kendrick Johnson case. Very sad, very, very sad. So I'm going to just get right into it because there's a lot we have to unpack in this video, and I don't want to make this video too long because I feel like I need to do part one and part two. So this is part one. So Kendrick Johnson was 17 years old at the time of his death, and he was born on October the 10th, 1995. It's really sad because he passed away on the 10th too, so January 10th, 2013. So basically he was the student at the Lowndes High School in Valdosta in Georgia State. His parents were, I didn't even put their names down here. So anyway, he was just very loved, from what accounts of his friends and stuff like that and family. A very loving, simple, non-violent, non-problematic student. He loved playing basketball and sports and football. So, and I believe he was on the wrestling team. I'm not sure, don't quote me. So he was just a very, an all-round lovable, all-American student in school in 2013. So Kendrick, you know, was involved in school activities. On this case, as you can tell, I'm breathing really hard. It's very disturbing. It's still disturbing till this day because again, it's unsolved, and it's just as you see as we go along. If you've never heard about it before, you'll understand why. So as usual, he's involved in a lot of after school sports and stuff like that. So his mom was expecting him to come home, but she wasn't, anxious or anything because I guess she assumed he's got games, sports or something he's up to. But it's when it started getting really late, he didn't come home. His mum was like, where is, guess where is her son? Where's Kendrick? So she goes down looking for him at the school. No one knows where he is. Imagine going for a night of not knowing where a child who's meant to return in the afternoon or evening does not return. Imagine having to sleep through that. I don't even think his mum was able to even sleep. So the next day in school, after no one saw him get on the school bus, nothing. The police were involved, the school was involved, and they made a gruesome discovery. There was actually students that saw him and saw 2 feet poking out of a wrestling mat in the gym. And that was the last place he was seen alive walking into the gym. So with that being said, we're going to get into the case. I'm going to talk about things that I noticed. I'm not really going to go too much into how, but what, if that makes sense. So I've given you the brief background. So, oh, and keep in mind the feet poking out at the mat. And as in my other video, let me make a disclaimer here. I am not going to include much death photos or gory or graphic pictures because one, especially particularly in this case, is very gory and graphic and disturbing, these pictures. So I'm going to put links rather instead because I don't want YouTube are really, really, really getting tough on pictures and stuff like that and images and certain things, visuals, because it's not advertiser friendly and I don't want my videos being demonetized for no reason. So I'm going to play by the rules and play it safe, and what I'll do is I'll just link, when I talk about something I will title it and you can go and look at the link yourself on Google, off of YouTube completely, because I ain't trying to get in trouble. So anyway, let's get into it. So keep in mind that he was discovered with his feet sticking out of the mat, so that, just keep that in mind. So anyway, let's get into the facts. This is going to be a very long video. I might even just do a little bit just to get in there, and part two I'll cover the rest. Maybe I'm going to put in 4 points, or actually let's do five. Let's do five, because let's do five facts about it today, and then I'm gonna come back with the other five in my next video, because I have a lot. It's gonna be a very long video, so let's just get the biggest things and facts and just creepy things about this that I noticed was the fact he failed to show up on the school bus, and nobody, no teacher, none of the bus drivers noticed a child didn't come on there. Now, I remember being in high school. I did 1 year of high school in America. All my school was done in England. So, but from what I know is when you miss the school bus, people are going to notice. Either people on the school bus are going to notice. How come none of his friends notice? Wait, where is he? You know, that was just weird to me. Another thing that's really weird to me was he went missing. He showed up to like like a few classes in the day, but didn't show up in all the other classes. Why was no one? Because this didn't happen after school. This happened during school time. I believe he even had like some kind of yellow book in the CCTV images. So why was he able to kind of bunk and skip classes and no teacher taking the register notice? Wait, Kendrick hasn't signed into any of these classes. See, I remember back in high school, back in school in England, in London too, if you're not marked in the register, that's a red flag. That means that you either are skipping classes or literally something happened to you. So I feel like for the fact he was able to go through that many classes and no one noticed, that makes me look at the school really differently. Like, what is going on in that school? That's a big thing. Like, I feel like the parents can sue the school on that alone, like negligence, failure to care for an underage. He was a minor. So why were they not checking out? Wait, why is this kid not, where is this kid? In case of a fire, you know, that don't make sense. It just don't make sense. So that's number one. That was weird. Number two, shoes found near the body were splattered with red. Okay, so I'm quoting something from Daily Mail. So shoes found near the body were splattered with red, but police say that it wasn't blood. I wonder, was that ketchup? Seriously, or red paint? Like, seriously. And they did not collect them as evidence. So you're going to see my frustration in this video a lot, because the police totally dropped the ball on this case, and it makes you wonder, is this a conspiracy? Is this some kind of cover-up? Definitely this case screams cover-up from beginning to end, because if you will notice a pattern, the police dropped the ball pretty much on everything in this case. So how can you find something red on any item and not say it's blood, like, and then not test it? They refused to test it because they believed it wasn't blood. How can you just look at, I see some red specks, but this definitely ain't blood, throw away that, dispose it? It just doesn't make sense, and it just reminds me so much of the Kanika cases. So much neglect, and you just begin to wonder why is all these things being neglected? And it brings you to the whole race thing. If he wasn't black, if he was some other race, would they have dealt with it differently, or would they have taken that as evidence? I don't know. It was just very dismissive for no reason. So it makes you wonder, like, how can you just not, it's a active crime scene. You need to test everything needs to be bagged away and taken back to the lab. But how can you on the spot, on the scene, dismiss it and say, we're not testing this? It's just red ketchup. Okay, there was also specks of blood on the wall. So this is like fact free that bothers me. There were specks of blood on the wall, and I might include pictures, I might not. We'll see how this goes, because I really don't want no drama from YouTube. Either way, I'm going to link it down below so you can see them for yourself in the link. They refused to test these red specks and what is obviously blood, because there's no one flicking red paint around or flicking ketchup around in a gym. It's definitely blood. They did not test it. They just dismissed it. It's just sloppy. Everything about this case is going to irritate you because it's sloppy. What was that on the wall? And to me, it looks like it could be a nosebleed. I don't know. That's what that looks like, because let's just look at it. If you looked at the image, you will notice that it's trickling down. So it could almost be like someone had their head bashed in, and their nose bled. That's what that looks like to me. So I don't know, but tell me what you think looking at those pictures, what you think those bloodstains are. It's really disturbing. It's found, so I'm going to quote from Daily Mail. One blood was found near the scene. It was tissue discarded at a nearby toilet. So that's what they said, that it was tissue discarded by a nearby toilet. Another was blood on the wall nearby KJ's body. So that's the one I told you about. And they said that they tested it and it was inconclusive. So inconclusive means they couldn't conclude what it was and whose it was. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Like, seriously. And then they refused to test the other blood that was on a tissue by a nearby toilet. Like, there's so much blood in school going around in that one crime scene area. Why would you not test it? Just in case, let's say that it was a crazed killer off the street. Wouldn't you want to, like a serial killer or something, wouldn't you want to test that out and find out how is this happening in a school? In a school, seriously, sorry, it's my dog just making a lot of noise. But how wouldn't you want to test it out and find why is there blood just like on the walls and stuff like that, just to protect other students? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. They like drop the ball. When you're seeing my frustration, I'm just like going through this, like, why? Like, why were they dismissing everything so fast? Not even taking, because if you watch all that CSI and stuff like that, 48 hours, they would take a little cotton bud and they will swipe it, a Q-tip, and they'll swipe it and get the just to have it and pull that DNA, just to know who did that and what's going on, and just to have that information on record for record keeping sake. But they didn't even do that. So it's like, why would they drop the ball so hard on this case? Why would they just dismissing everything literally at the crime scene, contaminating everything, and just allowing students to even be in a place that wasn't probably cleaned up really good anyway? Doesn't make sense. Why did the shoes have blood on them? Why did why did the mat have blood on it? Just so many questions but no answers for them, and just a lot of dismissal. So that doesn't. The next thing, my next point, number 5, is the LT. I was gonna say Lieutenant LT. I don't know if that means Lieutenant LT Jones. Says it's a school of. This is his claim. It's a school of 3,000 people. It'll be slim to none to determine whose blood it was. Oh my god, this case just makes me want to like pull off my ears and gouge my eyes out. How? That don't even make sense. So you're telling me, let's say a crazed killer came off the street and just killed two students in there, and you see blood on the wall or somewhere, you're gonna want to do some testing to find out and determine who could that be. Where have you seen somewhere where they said it's 3,000 people, we're not testing this? Well, if you test it, out of that 3,000 people, you're gonna find out something, or you're gonna get close to having answers. So that just, I feel so bad for the family, because that's like saying that your son ain't that important for us to check all this, or it's a lot of work. This is what they're basically saying. It's too hard for us. Not too hard, it's just a lot of work for us to go through 3,000 people. It's very dismissive. If you really want to, you can. If you want to get to the bottom of whose blood this is, you can. It's literally a thing about sorting it down to the blood group, and you'll find which family or which group that's from. It will literally narrow it down. So the fact that they gave that dismissive excuse again points to me that something more sinister is going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about. So I was gonna say I was gonna do 5, but I'm gonna do the 6th one, and that will be it, and then I'll do a part 2 video on this. So number 6 is, if you look at the videos, which I'm going to include in this video, KJ was acting very, very, very anxious and very strained in the last moments, and I'm going to include the video of him in the hallway right now so you can see how he looked like right before he walked into the gym. So I'm going to include that image and you can see it. So as you can see, he's very anxious. He's definitely planned to go into that gym. To me, it points out to someone that looks like they're literally about to go and square up. There's beef. I personally believe he had beef. He had drama already. You know how kids in school set up a fight? I believe he's not a fighter and he's not someone who normally fights, but there was some drama and it was about to go down in the gym and he was ready. And if you look at the video, which I'm going to include now as well, he runs straight in there like he was going towards something. It doesn't look like he was going to get any shoe, as they claimed, that was in the gym mat. It looks like he went there for someone. And if you in high school, you notice when there's a fight going on and they see each other, they literally run and boom, straight away. But then again, some people argue, how comes the kids that were playing inside the gym didn't turn around to look at a fight going on? I don't know if those images are altered, because I did hear that there's some missing image, there's some missing footage. So literally that, I don't know. But all I know is he ran straight to something. Why would you run where you can just walk and pick up? If you really got shoes in there that you're trying to get, you can walk up casually and pick them up. I feel he was running straight to someone. Once he set eyes on them, it's like, meet me in the gym at this time. That's what I personally believe. So I'm going to include the clip so you can tell me what you think you see about it. And the way he just runs straight in, it just looks like someone on a mission, and there was a fight, and it ended up terribly wrong. But I feel like he was very, very uncomfortable. So look at this and tell me what you. So if I wasn't able to include the video, I'm definitely going to include it somewhere in the links as well. So tell me what you think about that. But I am done with this part one. I'm going to do a part two, which is going to be more in depth. There's more things I caught in this whole KJ thing that we're going to have to go through it together. But tell me what you think about part one, and if you saw some of the things I saw. Stay tuned for part two. It's coming up soon. It should be this week as well. We'll see how things go. But on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think about the whole Kendrick Johnson case and where your mind is, where you stand with this whole thing. Do you think it's a cover-up? Do you think it's a terrible accident? Give me your reasons down in the comment section down below. Are you excited for part two? Because I have a lot more that I need to cover that I did not cover in part one, and they all tie in together, so get ready for that. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you dolls and guys in my next video. Bye.